It's Thursday, the 29th of June, 2023. Welcome to the Fast Five by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories, 5 minutes. Let's jump into story number 1, a big one. Inflation fell last month thanks to falling fuel and holiday travel prices, but probably not enough to prevent the Reserve Bank from lifting interest rates again.
The pace of inflation went from 6.8% in April to 5.6% in May, according to the Bureau of Statistics, well below market economist expectations. It sent the Aussie dollar lower and the share market higher. But if you exclude volatile items, things like petrol prices and holiday travel, annual inflation fell only modestly to 6.4% from 6.5% the previous month. That remains uncomfortably high, according to the experts. Now, this is a new series. The Reserve Bank mostly looks at the quarterly figures, but it is watching this one closely. We know that. Treasurer Jim Chalmers said the data showed that inflation was moderating, but not as fast as he would like, Michael.
Sean, it all sounds like good news, at least in terms of interest rates. What prices are going up? What's going down?
Rents have been a major driver of inflation over the past year, no surprise. So too energy prices, thanks to the disruption caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Electricity prices are up a massive 14.1% over the past 12 months, and they're heading higher. On the flip side, interest rate hikes are impacting household spending. As a result, prices in some goods, things like clothing and footwear, have actually gone backwards. In other areas like construction, the pace of the price rises has slowed. That's good. I suppose the bottom line, though, what's it mean for interest rate rises? Well, yesterday's data gives the Reserve Bank a reason to pause, but these numbers jump around a bit. The Reserve Bank's still worried about wages. Inflation peaked last December. We know that. It's on the way down. We know that. But if you average the last 3 months, inflation's still running at 6.2%, way too high. The consensus among market economists is, yep, there's 1 or 2 more rate hikes in the offing.
All right, on to story number 2, a big one coming out of Canberra. Government Services Minister Bill Shorten is seeking advice about how to respond to allegations a consultancy sought to funnel money to former Liberal MP Stuart Robert in exchange for government services contracts.
Shorten said he had immediately asked for advice from his agency about how to investigate claims contained in a sworn statement tendered by a whistleblower to a parliamentary committee that's looking into Robert's links with consultancy Synergy 360. According to the Financial Review, the statement alleges that a consulting company run by friends of Robert established a firm to funnel money to the MP in return for him using his position as a minister in the Morrison government to help the consultancy and its clients win government service contracts. Robert vehemently denies the allegations, saying they were made under privilege and it's an abuse of that privilege. He also said there's zero evidence to support the allegations. Asked about whether the issue should be a matter for the National Anti-Corruption Commission, Shorten said it's up to that commission to decide. We're going to hear lots more about this one, Michael.
We certainly will. Story number 3, a parliamentary inquiry has recommended banning all advertisements for online gambling within 3 years.
The final report of the inquiry into online gambling harm in Australia put forward 31 recommendations. It called for a crackdown on an industry that it called manipulating an impressionable and vulnerable audience. One of the recommendations is to phase out online gambling ads over 3 years, starting with a ban on online gambling ads during school pickup and drop-off periods. Ads on racing channels would be exempt under the proposal. Other recommendations put forward in the report include a national strategy for online gambling harm reduction, a public education campaign, a requirement for gamblers to have their identities verified before wagering, and a harm reduction levy. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese was talking about it yesterday. He described gambling ads as reprehensible, and he said a range of measures are needed.
Sean, story number 4, when I was hosting pub trivia nights, I would love any kind of list because it would give you questions that you could ask about, kind of name the top 3 airlines in the world or the top 3 movie box office takings this year. I used to even ask questions about this next story, which is about university rankings. And the latest QS World University rankings have named the unis of Melbourne, Sydney and New South Wales in the global top 20, while poor old Australian National University, ANU, that's tumbled down the list.
Yeah, so there are 3 main university rankings. This one, QS, Times Higher Education Rankings, and the Academic Ranking of World Universities. Across all 3, the University of Melbourne really does come out best. But the QS rankings, which were released in the past day, changed methodology this year, and that biased large comprehensive unis with big enrolments of international students. As a result, ANU, which doesn't have so many international students, fell down the rankings from 30 to 34, while Melbourne went from 33 to 14. Sydney Uni from 41 to 19 and University of New South Wales from 45 to 19. It means 3 Australian universities are in the top 20. Pretty spectacular. 9 in the top 100. By the way, the top 5 in the world rankings are MIT, Cambridge, Oxford, Harvard and Stanford.
All right, last story, Sean, a pretty serious one to finish on. The number of households on hardship payment plans to repay electricity bills has jumped by 19% during the first quarter of 2023, according to the Australian Energy Regulator.
It underscores the impact of the recent surge in electricity prices, and the figure could yet grow further as Australians will from next month begin paying even higher bills. The Australian Energy Regulator said between January 1 and March 31, 1.3% of all Australian households were on payment plans to repay electricity bills, according to a story in The Australian. Customers repaying gas bills via payment plans also rose. Now, Queensland had the largest quarterly increase with 15% more households on payment plans. South Australia has the biggest number of customers on hardship plans, about 2% on those plans. Very worrying, Michael.
Yeah, it sure is. There we go, the top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Thursday, the 29th of June, 2023. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. If 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed wherever you listen to podcasts, and that comes with a daily interview as well. Today's interview is with the co-founders of Zipco, the buy now, pay later provider that has just celebrated its 10th birthday. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.